One of the very few cool things about back pain is that you get to experience things kind of ahead of your time. Meaning you get to experience things that you would typically experience only when you're much older. And I'm not just talking about rigid, stiff back pain. I'm actually talking about hot springs, thermal spa resorts, banyas, saunas, and treatments of that sort. This may even be recommended to you by a doctor for chronic back pain, especially a rheumatologist. I guess it can be pretty cool to run into your grandpa at the thermal spa resort like, "Hey, what are you doing here, Sonny?" And yeah, I guess it can be cool to like meet old Russian gangsters at the Russian banya and maybe they're gonna share stories about what those prison tattoo means in the Russian prison system and how you can like, I don't know, threaten an oligarch or practical things of that nature. But yeah, anyway, like your doctor may actually prescribe treatments of this type. In this video, I will share my experience with these types of treatments. I will share my opinion, my recommendation, and whether I think this can actually be valuable to you. Before we get started, time for the usual yada yada. So I'm not a doctor, I'm not your doctor. This cannot be interpreted as a medical advice, but I do have a free book on the subject, which I believe is so useful that it's probably, if I'm being honest, a lot more useful than most things that doctors will recommend for chronic back pain. Link to the free book, did I mention it's free? It's in the pinned comment or in the description. Definitely check it out. It goes through a lot of the things I tried, what worked, what didn't work, and how you can apply all of this into crafting a perfect formula, perfect blueprint for healing your back pain. Okay, now, thermal spas and hot spring resorts and things of that nature, are they effective for back pain? Let's do this. So, I was recommended this type of treatment by a unusual looking doctor. I sometimes jokingly say like he looked like a corrupt prison warden or like a real estate scammer, or he didn't look like the typical doctor. And interestingly enough, like this was the only doctor that kind of came close with his recommendations and advice. Like pretty much all the other doctors were I would say like 100% useless. This guy was the only one who kind of recommended stuff that made sense and were kind of close to helping. And this is the doctor who recommended that I go and get 10 sessions of treatment in a hot springs resort. We call these banyas in my region. I think they're commonly known like that in most of Eastern Europe. And I think this kind of like culture and this type of activity is also spreading to the West recently, which is actually a good thing. These are like relaxing, interesting activities. I think people do benefit a lot from that. And this doctor was very confident that this is gonna work for my back pain. And honestly, like so was I kind of expected this one to work. Up until that point, like nothing really worked. I had tried a few different things, and I was already starting to like even I was even reaching for like straws here. I would have taken anything. Plus, submerging myself in hot water, of course, always sounds fun. And honestly, while I was doing this, while I was going to the sessions, I did feel better. Being in hot water does make your back feel a little bit better. It does ease the pain a little bit. And by the way, the same is true for hot showers. Like this is one of the very few things that I use as a quick like solution. If I have a very intense back pain episode, I usually take a hot shower and my entire body sometimes relaxes, which can have a really beneficial effect on the pain itself. So I kept going to the thermal spa hot springs place. It did feel nice while I was in the water, but as soon as I left like the water and got back to like my regular life, the pain was pretty much back, like nothing had happened. And I did this for 10 sessions and I didn't really see any lasting improvement. I was even told like the effects may take longer to start to get like manifested, but nothing really happened. And if I'm being fully honest here, there was one negative component to this type of therapy. I kept seeing elderly, injured people in very poor, very fragile conditions. And don't get me wrong here, I love the elderly, I have all the respect in the world for them. I love even like talking to them randomly. I love listening to their stories. I love hearing about life before. And I honestly believe like they're incredible sources of wisdom, and pretty much our modern society severely underappreciates and disrespects them. But when you're 24, 25, and your entire body hurts and you feel like you can break apart and shatter your spine at any minute with any wrong movement, the last thing you want to see is fragile older people. Like, this is a mindset issue. Trust me, and I say this a lot in other videos as well. Back pain is pretty much mostly a mind game. Not in all cases, of course. There are cases where the actual injury is the root cause. But for a lot of people, you will discover that your mindset plays a critical component here. And being sent to heal in a place that's mostly populated by older people with serious injuries, with serious problems, it doesn't help your mindset. You want to start thinking about how you're going to be powerful and strong and like whole and healed again. And seeing people who are struggling with to take a few steps and being in such fragile and poor conditions, I don't think it's helpful. It's helpful for your mindset at all. I think it's doing you a disservice, actually. You even start thinking like, is this where I belong? Like with all the older people? I'm just 25. Like it's not really a good play for your mind. And look, like if the treatments worked, if I noticed actual meaningful improvements in back pain that lasted after the sessions were done, I would have kept going happily. Like I can turn a blind eye, and maybe I don't have to like engage with the environment all that much. Maybe I can put some blinders on, like mental blinders, and maybe ignore the situation a bit. But when I notice like I'm not healing, I'm not feeling better from this, and I'm also in a place where, you know, everyone else is hurting, it was just like a lose-lose situation for me. So this wasn't too useful for me. The visits didn't really help. And, you know, I love and respect the older generation of people, but when I'm trying to heal my back and get stronger and get better, honestly, like they're the last people I want to see when they're in like very poor health conditions, and when they simply look fragile. They just remind me of my own fragility. That's honestly not a good mindset strategy. And I would even extend this advice to actually elderly people as well. In fact, it doesn't even matter how chronologically old you are. You can even notice this. Like, for example, if you have a few friends that are always saying like, time goes by like so quickly, we're getting old, like everything starts to hurt, everything is worse as time goes by. Like try, just do this little experiment. Like try spending less time with those people, and I bet you like you're probably gonna feel a lot better and a lot younger after like ignoring those people for at least for a while. And if you would indulge me, I'm gonna slightly flex a little bit, but I think it's good to drive the point home. I'm 36 years old. Pretty much most of the new people I meet, like they're very surprised when I tell them my real age. And I don't know what you're gonna think of my real age. I don't know how well my youthfulness translates to camera and all of that. But like people often assume I'm 24 or 25. And I think that's mostly because I figured this out. Like youth is, you know, obviously chronological, but your biological youth is very deeply rooted in how you act, how you behave, how you think. And I think one of the main reasons why I, you know, according to many people, let's just say, probably look younger than I actually am, is because I don't spend time with old people. And by old, I don't mean like chronologically old, but people who, you know, their life energy is drained from them like quickly. They waste it on complaining and like, you know, being, I don't know, negative and being old. You know, you can be elderly, but you don't have to be old. That's my point here. So anyway, like that's a little bit of a side tangent. Hot springs and thermal spas, like I don't know, I have a mixed opinion on them. I think they can be beneficial to some people. If your doctor recommends them, you will probably want to give them a shot. I wouldn't probably expect too much from this one, to be honest, because as usual, like doctors recommend things that don't actually target the root cause. You're gonna keep noticing this over and over. This is like a solution that's typically recommended for people with, you know, arthritic pain, rheumatic pain, like things of that nature. Usually it's older people who have problems with that. Usually it's also people who don't mind their nutrition and maybe they're not even like exercising a lot. This causes a rise in your body's inflammation levels. That's actually one of the root causes of chronic back pain. If you're interested in the other causes and how to address them and to actually fix this issue, I think this video that's gonna appear right above me right about now should be very useful. And again, check out the free book, completely free. I want you to get a lot of value from it. I think you will learn a lot from my experience and my stories. You can see what works, what doesn't work, how you should go about crafting your own blueprint for healing. I also have an app that has a free tier. I think it can be also a very good resource for you. It's going to help you stay on track and build really good habits that help you reduce your back pain pretty much every day. Also, you can take the survey that's going to create the plan for you. Like, you're going to get a really specific custom tailored plan based on your needs and your problems and your injuries and your life context. It's going to take everything into account. 60 questions, I believe, at this point, maybe even more. Definitely check that out. If you are really serious about healing and you want to do it in the fastest possible way with the least amount of pain, I think you should definitely consider the Back Pain Blueprint course. Check it out. A link to it should be in the description. You can also schedule a free consultation call with me if you're interested in working with me personally. If you want me in your corner all the time, I can be a very useful resource to you as well. So I have a lot of stuff for you to heal. All of the links should be in the pinned comment or the description. My name is Mate from Real Deal Heal. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell thingy. You're gonna get a lot of value from these videos if you suffer with back pain, because I do a lot of content on this and I have a ton of experience here. I struggled with this for 10 years. For the last 2 years, I'm pretty much back pain free. And this is like something that shouldn't happen technically. Like, these are degenerative diseases of the discs and stuff. And as you get older, like, they're supposed to be worse. And right now, like, I'm pretty much better than ever. I'm even more healthier than before I got injured. So I obviously learned a thing or two here. I can be very useful to you, I believe. At the very least, this content on YouTube, I think, is going to be also a massive resource for you. Definitely stick around. If you know someone else who has back pain issues, like, recommend this channel and this content to them. If you have questions or comments, head over to the comment section. I will try to answer everything, every concern, every question, and take all the feedback into account as well. So, hot springs, thermal spas, resorts, banyas. Can these treatments work for your chronic back pain? Possibly. I'm not excluding the possibility, but honestly, I'm not exactly sure they're the right solution. I think they're not gonna do much for you long term. And if you wanna keep watching videos about chronic back pain and a video that's actually gonna tell you what you should do about back pain, the video that's gonna appear right above me should be a great next resource. I will see you then. Until next time, be brave.